But it's such a good. Oh, she covers the environment in the west. She can do it from anywhere.
Check, check. Taylor, are you up there? And you're ready to play the video at the appropriate point? And it's streaming otherwise, it's all good? Okay. I tell you what, folks, if you will indulge me, let me just run outside and give everyone a final 30-second call for the people that would like to come in, and then I'll come back. I'll be right back. Very short. You guys are fine. Come in. You go across the other side, you can probably squeeze in over there. No, thank you.
They went down in the second one.
No, it's fine. I'm waiting on time.
Oh, you are so good. I'm gonna sit down. It's too hard to go up steps. Can I sit in front?
Yeah, of course. My house is your house, Connie. You can sit anywhere you want.
You coming?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump in. So first, I want to thank you all again for coming out to help support us, support the Police Unity Tour, support FLEOA Foundation, to support the Memorial Fund, and to support all of us. I say all of us in the law enforcement profession as we hope to honor and remember our heroes. So thank you for coming to help us do the ceremony today and read names and be a part of that experience. But when John and Pat came to me some months ago, there was something in the air more than, I'm going to say, just honoring our heroes, although obviously that was a massive part of our event tonight. There was something else in the air in terms of us as organizations coming together and thinking about creating a new, what we hope will be an annual award to help highlight and honor someone who has given, contributed, really invested in some meaningful way in the law enforcement profession. And so they had someone in mind, and I was absolutely thrilled to partake and partner in this initiative. And so to begin tonight's award presentation, I would love to call up Peter Killeen and John Adler and ask them to continue on. So, ladies and gentlemen, John Adler.
Thanks. Yes. Yeah. I think for all of you who were there during the ceremony today, you heard me talk about my soul sister, Jean. We're here, and the memorial wall obviously has the names of our fallen heroes inscribed and all of those who made the ultimate sacrifice. But when I mentioned about charging forward, you know, everyone talks about law enforcement charging forward and how our people stayed forward, and they stayed forward in harm's way. Well, the thing is that most people observe or think about 9/11 as a historical isolated event, right? 9/11, it hit the fan, bad day. But it wasn't isolated. It wasn't one day. It's ongoing. It's in me. It's in Peter. It's in Pat, Harry. It's in John and everyone here in the first responder world. It's with us, and we're going to take it to the grave. Some of us are impacted physically, some psychologically, some all of the above. Some things we haven't even discovered yet, but it's with us. And we don't cry about it. We don't complain. We do it all over again. Keep your dust mask. I don't need it. We do it all again in a heartbeat. But the person being recognized tonight is someone who, I always say, I say this to my daughter and to everyone, in this short life, under the best of circumstances in this short life, take nothing for granted. Take nothing for granted. And for people who quietly take care of our wounded warriors, selflessly give of themselves, and they not only take care of the person, they actually, part of the pain, I don't know if Dr. Udasin will say it or not, but it ages you. You absorb. It's like you talk about secondhand smoke. I don't know the full science on that, but I do know when you treat someone and you have compassion, you end up owning some of that pain, some of that issue, whether it's physical or psychological. Along those lines, what came to our attention is from my good friend, Dr. Peter Killeen. He's another quiet, kind soul, and irrespective of the fact that he's like, 6'5" and all that good stuff, you never notice him because he's quiet. He doesn't pat himself on the back, but he's one of these awesome human beings where if you tell him anything, you tell him about your life and anything happened, your pet turtle from 25 years ago died because Snoopy lifted his leg and the turtle went belly up, you're going to see a tear coming down his eye. And you look at him like, whoa, time out. What are you doing, guy? He wears everyone else's pain on his sleeve, on his soul. He's our calming stone. He's the guy we all go to level out. And there aren't that many people on the planet who are like that. Well, I haven't met them. But we have these brilliant calming stones, these people we go to who have compassion. They didn't learn it in a textbook. They were born with it. And they share their talent and their compassion with us, and they take care of us. We're banged up. We're complex. We ain't easy. And they have the saintly tolerance and patience to put up with us, to play us out, to work with us, understand us. And we're still here because of them. Not so much whether God knows what we would do in our crazy moments. But we know it gives us strength and comfort. I can go to him, and now I can go to her. Whether it's a physical or psychological, it doesn't matter. Wellness is wellness. So Peter, who brought this to our attention, this is a wonderful thing and fits perfectly into what we're doing. We want to honor and remember and cherish those who made the ultimate sacrifice, but we want to honor and cherish and respect those who are preventing us from being on that wall. So Peter, get up here. He's just sitting there. He's like, he does not want the light. He doesn't want attention. But this is an honorable brother. Sometimes I probably want to choke him out. He's so nice. But it's because of people like him that no matter what gets published in the news media, what the politician may or may not say, what the optic is out there about law enforcement, this is a guy you can always lean on. He's a guy who always can level you, can get you to find your center place. It's critically important. It gives us strength. So my brother, thank you for that. Thank you for bringing this wonderful person to this venue for us to recognize. And I yield to you, my good man.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, pal. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, good evening, everyone. That was very, very kind, John. It's hard to even talk about it. Today is a strange day for everybody. I started out this morning. Well, first of all, I got word that one of our officers who worked down at Ground Zero, we had a group called Team Romeo, and they were the retired officers who went down and worked every midnight on the rescue and the recovery. just a great group of guys, wonderful people. And Dominic Rosigliano, he was a Vietnam vet. He was one of the guys, but he died last night. So just remember him in your prayers, if you will. Just a wonderful man. So this is an interesting topic for me. I sometimes I'm good with it, sometimes I'm not. But I've been, when I think of 9/11 and my experiences back then, I was, on the morning of 9/11, I was doing per diem work at a Hoffman LaRoche pharmaceutical company, which overlooks the skyline of New York. And I was on the phone with a former student of mine, Michael McDonald, who's here tonight, and we were talking. We heard a plane hit the Trade Center, and like everybody else, we thought it was a small plane. And then when I heard that the second tower was hit, the Pentagon was hit, the plane went down in Pennsylvania, I felt very scared and vulnerable as to what we're going to do. So my work is with the Port Authority. Those of you who don't know me, I work with the Port Authority police unions, and I've been with them now 35 years. I was a cop with them as well back in the 70s, and I started the program with the Port Authority on a union-based program, which I believe is the best and most effective program to have because of confidentiality. So when I got the call and to go down to Ground Zero, I couldn't get into the city. And I hung out for a while and finally got down to the Lincoln Tunnel that afternoon and got a ride over to our command center on North Moore Street, about 3 blocks north of the World Trade Center. And when I walked into our gymnasium and saw about 120 cops, from head to toe, they were covered with the white debris. And it was a very, very frightening experience for me. And I heard my name being called, get over here, talk to this guy, talk to that guy, talk to this one. And I am not a critical incident person. I don't like them. There's too much chaos. I'm better and more effective after the fact. So I'll tell you, I was scared. It scared the hell out of me that I had to do something. They expected me to fix the problem. So I said to myself, the only way I'll be effective here is that if I am present in front of that person and just listen to what they have to say. There's nothing else I could do. That went on for about 6 hours, and I finally finished up around 9. Couldn't get a ride back. My car was at the Lincoln Tunnel. I walked through Soho and Tribeca, not a soul in sight. It was dark out at that point. And there was about 2 to 3 inches of debris, soot on the ground, the street and the sidewalk. Got myself up to 14th Street and was able to get a subway up to the bus terminal where a maintenance man was kind enough to drive me over to the Lincoln Tunnel. When I got to the Lincoln Tunnel, I went up to the captain's office and they were watching the news. And what Giuliani came on and he said, and we lost FDNY fire chaplain, Father Michael Judge today, Franciscan friar, and the coroner named him number 1 on the coroner's death list. One of my many sections of my life, I was a Franciscan friar for a number of years, and I was in the same order as Michael, and we were very close. So he was the first person that I found out that died that day, which was really ironic because we didn't know, Port Authority, we didn't know who had died at that point. So from that point forward, my life changed in terms of my work. I'm the only counselor and therapist for Port Authority Police. And 2 years, 3 years in, I thought I was doing great. And people would say, how you doing, Pete? I said, good. Everything's good. Until I wasn't returning phone calls. A commercial would come on TV that was pretty benign, and I'd get emotional at that. I had no patience for anybody. If somebody cut me off on the street, it was not a good scene. It was horrible. And I finally knew something was wrong, and I said I had to get some help. So I enrolled in the Mount Sinai program, and I saw the social worker, and she said, well, you're on the spectrum, which I already knew. And she goes, how would you like to proceed? I said, well, I'd like to be put on 10 milligrams of Lexapro. So she looked at me and said, no one has ever come in and told me what they wanted to be on. I said, well, the reason being is that I've assisted so many officers and told them what they needed to do to get the help to feel better, but I was not taking care of myself. I was, not good and sort of deteriorating. So thankfully, I was able to get the help that I needed. Saw a psychiatrist at Mount Sinai, Dr. Jones, and she was wonderful. And then I proceeded with my work. And around 2009, I was diagnosed with cancer, 9/11 related, and went into the hospital, got treated. So that's all good. And then just proceeded on. And the 10th year, I closed the door to the treatment of 9/11 illnesses, post-traumatic stress stuff, medical stuff. I would refer to the appropriate thing. But I said no more. I helped a lot of people get disability pensions. And I felt as though I did it effectively. And it was now time for me to take care of myself. And that's what I did, and moved on. During that process, so I, along with Susan Shapiro, who's here with her husband, Ronnie, I called her and asked if she wanted to collaborate on a book with me. And I was on a treadmill at the gym, and I said, I have to come up with something that's really doable for cops, that they don't give up too quickly, and that treats the mind, body, and spirit. Yeah. And I'm a stickler with that you cannot just treat the mind and body. You have to treat the spirit of the person, because that is what is the moral compass for that person. So came up with Operation Longevity, and we did the first book and then a journal. And they've used them in the academies. And then I wrote the 21-day call to action coin challenge. And the coin challenge is good because it treats physical, psychological, and spiritual 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. So I asked the Port Authority if they would get me a focus group of 12 people and a cross-section of the population. So they were great. So I'm down in the room, and the recruits come down, and they walk in with their heads down and everything. I'm like, this is weird. But I said, did they tell you why you were coming here? They said, no. They thought they were going to be thrown out of the academy. And I said, this is a great way to start this 3-week thing with them. But we did it. And I met with them an hour each week. And the cornerstone for this, and I think this is critically important, not only in the 21-day challenge, but in our daily lives, is that they had to do a random act of kindness each day and write it down in the journal. And the reason that we write it down, that concretizes the action itself. And by the 15th, 16th day, the brain starts to elicit the positive hormones of oxytocin and dopamine, and the person will start feeling better about themselves. My theory, and it's only a theory, is that if a first responder feels better about themselves, less likely they are to do harm to themselves. One of the things that is a critical problem with law enforcement, as you all well know, is the suicide issue. And part of that is addressing that. And first responders fail to get the help. I was just speaking with somebody else. I'm sorry, I can't remember who I was speaking with. About getting the help. And it's stigma. Stigma inhibits the person of getting the help that they need, because it would be seen as a weakness. My dear friend John Adler, he comes up with these 4-word slogans, and to me, they're brilliant. He'll downplay it, but the one that I've used rather frequently is Smash Stigma, Save Lives. And if you pick up one of those bands out there on the table, it's on the Smash Stigma, Save Lives. And I've used it a number of times. A brilliant statement, and I think that's what we have to do. We have to address the stigma, both on the union level and management. We can't just do one side, otherwise it will never work. So we did the Operation Longevity, and the results of that 3-week was the recruits were delighted. They felt excited about it. In the evaluation, they said it should be used in every police academy around the country. And I believe that too. I believe it should go into the academies on that level and help people get started the right way. We're living in a very chaotic world, as you well know. I don't have to tell anybody that. It's very divided, and people are on medications more than they've ever been for depression and anxiety. I believe, and this is just my belief, that Operation Longevity is a possible answer for people to live a better life and to live a more happy and sustainable life. Prior to coming here, I wrote and completed the 12 beliefs of the Operation Longevity Creed. This is the paper. If you have a chance to just pick it up on the way out, if you will. On the back, it's just a creed, and the two of the beliefs in the creed, I'm going to address them right now, if you don't mind. The first one is to reflect on your divine creator and what your creator has done for you. That's giving you life, and everything that goes with it. You know, we're able to walk, we're able to breathe, we're able to see, we're able to smell. Those are gifts. And if we do not thank our creator for that, we're missing the boat. The second belief is we need to believe that it's kindness and compassion that's going to change the world. We have to become more compassionate. By doing the random acts of kindness will change your life immeasurably. One example of an act of kindness was down at Ground Zero, Salvation Army. Who mentioned, was it Pat this morning? Salvation Army. In front of our command center on North Moore Street, the Salvation Army had a tent there. And I got off the truck one day from PATH, and I looked down towards the Trade Center, and that twisted steel was still standing. And I looked over to Salvation Army, and I saw a woman in a wheelchair. And I said, this is the paradox of good and evil in the world. She was there handing out water and food. And what it took her to get there that day, through that debris and everything else in that wheelchair, that she was attending to those in need, where she was probably one that probably needed somebody to help and attend to her. To me, that's an act of kindness. Another act, and this is, the men in the room maybe understand this, going to the barber is a pain because you have to wait and sit there. And so on Saturday morning in our town, Pat and myself live in the same town, people line up in the parking lot to be first in line to get their hair cut. So I'm waiting, and I see it's the bewitching hour, and I get out of my car and I go up there, and there's a gentleman behind me, and I said, I think you were ahead of me. And he goes, no, that's all right. I said, no, I think you were. I have stuff to read. Just go ahead. So he signs up for the guy I wanted. I'm thinking, oh. So, and Joel is a talker, the barber. So I said, I'll go to somebody else. Don't worry. So, which I did. And when I went to pay, the woman said, it's already been taken care of. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, somebody paid for it already. So I went over to him and I said, you didn't have to do that. He goes, do what? I said, you paid for my haircut. And he goes, have a good holiday. So I walked out and I said, you know, I feel good and I want to do something for somebody. Just as an aside, I went to a landscaping place that I'm good friends with the people, and I shared with them, this is typical New Jersey. I shared with them my experience of the haircut without missing a beat. He turned and goes, somebody paid for that haircut? So, but if you remember on September 12th, 2001, people couldn't be any kinder. They would open doors for us. They would let us in traffic. They would say good morning with a smile. And that was short-lived, unfortunately. That's the nature of the beast. But I do believe that we need to take a look at that, and we have to change somehow and change the world if we're going to survive. So that is my belief. If you will take the Operation Longevity Creed, read it. Perhaps all you had to do was read it for 21 days, and I promise you that you will experience a happiness and a peace that you haven't experienced in a long time. So please pick that up and share it with your family and friends. And maybe perhaps at the end of it, we can make the world a better place. So I want to thank you for the time of being here and allowing me to speak today, Pat and John and Bill, and be a part of this. But we are here, and the important part of this ceremony today is to honor somebody, Dr. Udasin. And I do have to read your part, and I'm sorry about that. I've known Dr. Udasin for a while now, and I want to just share this with you. Dr. Udasin is an individual who constantly goes above and beyond in her work. She embodies compassion and kindness. She has helped thousands of first responders in a way that will live on and an imprint on generations to follow. She is not just a doctor, but a true healer of bodies and souls. I know that from my own personal experience, having been and continue to be treated by Dr. Udasin and her staff, who I think are simply angels, and I love them. I like to refer to Dr. Udasin as the Mother Teresa of first responders. She's that special. A true Rutgers University legend and an inspiration to many police officers and first responders. Please welcome Dr. Iris Udasin to the podium, if you will. Where are you going? Over here. Over here.
It's hiding.
He's hiding. All right, Dr. Udasin, we're presenting you with the first in the history of the National Law Enforcement Memorial, the Service Above Self Award for the work that you've done, and it's so well deserved. You are a special person, and you are in. This is just a prototype, by the way. It's the other one is much bigger. All right, it's just a little. But I want to give this to you, and on behalf of the National Law Enforcement Memorial, FLIOA Foundation, the Police Unity Tour, and Operation Longevity, I present you with the Service Above Self Award. Well deserved.
Thank you.
Oh, we're not done yet. Oh, hang on, you're behind me. And there were several people who could not be here today because of prior commitments with 9/11, but they wanted to send their gratitude and their congratulations to you for all the work that you do for the people in their charge, as well as their families. So they have this to say. Taylor, you will? He'd say, there we go. You want to turn around?
Dr. Udasin, it is a great honor for me to be part of this celebration and congratulate you on your award. I couldn't think of a person that is more well deserving for the efforts that they gave and the treatment that you continue to give all first responders, not only for the Port Authority, but the men and women in New York City and New Jersey that have assisted in all the efforts. Your work is definitely historical in what you've done. We appreciate everything you do each and every day. And me as one of your patients, truly appreciate everything you do for me and my family. And without your service, I don't think I'd be standing here before you to thank you for everything you did and congratulate you. We are indebted for your service and we appreciate everything you did. Congratulations again and all the best to you.
Colonel Pat Callahan here with the New Jersey State Police. Just wanted to congratulate Dr. Udasin on this prestigious award. When I saw that it was the first ever Service Above Self Award, I could think of no person more deserving than Dr. Udasin. Her years of commitment to our first responders who still continue to suffer to this day from the effects of those related illnesses to that horrific day on September 11, 2001. Dr. Udasin knows that we've lost 5 troopers so far to 9/11 related illness, and we certainly have several troopers that are still struggling with those illnesses, and Dr. Udasin is there each and every step of the way. So certainly a congratulations to you, Doc, but more importantly, from my heart, from all the women and men of the New Jersey State Police, thank you for what you've done for our state police family over the course of the year in such a tragic time that we still continue to see the effects of 9/11, but there you are right at the center of giving your all. So congratulations service above self. That's you, Doc. God bless you.
Dr. Udasin, congratulations on the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Award. There is nobody on this earth more deserving than you. What you've done for us, those who survived that day, and those who worked on the pile, and you continue to do for us, is immeasurable. God bless you, and God bless your family, and stay safe.
So they couldn't get here, but I know you wanted them to be here. So you want to say a few words?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm feeling very overwhelmed by this and also very short around here. So 9/11 changed all of our lives and everyone wanted to do something to help. Well, I don't know if everyone did, but I certainly wanted to do something. And on the day of 9/11, they really didn't need very many doctors in the city. And I was really fortunate enough to be chosen by Rutgers, by NIOSH, to participate. NIOSH is our funding agency. CDC, NIOSH, so nobody should say anything bad about CDC on this presentation. They're our funding agency. I was blessed to be chosen to do this, and I was blessed to be allowed to take care of law enforcement. I know the saying about running towards the problem. Tommy McHale, who just spoke a few minutes ago, would say, if these people knew how to make an honest living, they wouldn't be criminals. I'm quoting Tommy for saying that. If it wasn't for you guys, where would we be? We wouldn't be able to walk the streets safely if it wasn't for the police. Police may get a bad name, but not with me and not in the Rutgers Clinical Center. We'll do the best we can to treat you in the way you deserve. I'd like to save everybody, but I can't save everybody. One of the names that was read earlier today, first name Dennis, I couldn't get him to go for his CAT scan in time, and he died sooner than I wanted him to die. One of the people that was read earlier named Jerry, during the COVID, Jerry had retired from the state police. We got him through his cancer. He was only worried about me during COVID, talking about random acts of kindness. Jerry used to tell me jokes. He would send me jokes to make me laugh. I was sitting there worrying because people over 60 weren't getting respirators and were dying of COVID. And I kept the clinic open to take care of patients all during COVID. And Jerry was sending me jokes all the time. Billy, whose name was mentioned earlier, was a cancer patient. He dressed up as Batman to cheer up the children while he was receiving his chemotherapy. He would sit and receive it in a Batman costume to take care of the children. These are the people that we worked for every day, and I still work to take care of you guys and women and Val. We also are trying in New Jersey to make sure everybody gets a proper line of duty pension. We help to get you the Zadroga awards. I like to say that I want to cure everybody, but there's no illness that money makes worse. And getting people the compensation for their illnesses is really important. And I want to thank a lot of people for my being here. I want to thank our funding agency for giving us enough time to spend with people so that I can figure out, is it a physical health problem? Is it a mental health problem? Is it both? How am I going to get them into treatment? If God forbid it's cancer, I want to make sure people are doing the right thing and they feel like they've done everything to take care of themselves. And I want to make sure that they get their tests on time, their results on time. My husband, Gary, who suffers when I get home late from work, it's because I want to make sure somebody got their result on time for their test. And Gary sacrifices waiting for me to get home because people know I make those calls between 4 and 6 o'clock every day. So this is what I love to do. I love to take care of everyone. So I'm thanking my funding agency. I'm thanking my staff members, the other doctors, my absolutely excellent nursing staff, mental health people, admin staff, Rutgers University, my patients, and most of all, my family, my husband, Gary, who puts up with my irregularity. I'm trying not to be too irregular, but I can't help it sometimes. But I do the best I can. My husband, my children, Sharon and Ronald, my grandchildren, Amit, Eden, Ella, and Maya, my son-in-law, Ravid, my daughter-in-law, Esty, and I want to close this on a happy note as we go forward. Today is the 6th birthday of my oldest granddaughter, Eden, and so as we try and survive in this crazy world, I will close with a happy birthday to my granddaughter, who's 6 today.
Happy birthday.
Okay, the other Dr. Udasin. Udasin. Yeah. No, you have to come. We have a gift for you. Yep. Pat Montori has a presentation from the police unity tour.
I'll take her.
You both get, here we go.
I don't know if this is your side, Doc, or it's your husband's, but let me grab that for you. People in the back, you can wave their arms from the back there. Yeah, they want the jackets on there, waving arms. They're a part of the group that's here, Doc.
Really?
As your wife said, you sacrifice a little bit to allow her to take care of people who take care of others. She truly is a person. I was very lucky by Dr. Killeen bringing me down to meet Dr. Udasin and having an opportunity to see how she works and what she does for others. Talking to many of you out here to see your experiences with her. I was in an ice cream store. I told her I saw somebody with a World Trade Center shirt on. I talked about it for 5 minutes. And whose name did he bring up? Dr. Udasin's. So everybody that, I interact with that's in the program has nothing but wonderful, warm things to say about you. And I wish you the best and God bless you and your family. Happy birthday to your grandchildren. I have 6 myself that I love so dearly. And Doc, thank you both for being there for all of us because you need a good partner, as I know with my wife here today. You need somebody that sticks by you and honors you while you honor others and you honor each other. So may God bless you with many, many years of health and happiness.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Bill? You got everything? And we're going to give you the other reward, right?
That's the other one.
Absolutely.
Well, Dr. Udasin, it's a pleasure to have met you. And I couldn't be more thrilled, more honored to know that you are the first recipient of, again, what we hope will be a new annual award. You certainly are very deserving, and it's a pleasure to have met you and your husband. So thank you. And thank all of you for coming to help us celebrate and honor our heroes and also to help celebrate and honor Dr. Udasin. So thank you, everyone, so much.
Sure. It's just way too dark.
Yeah.